Drawing subjects like this can be very daunting. In this video, I hope to break down some simple techniques for you. And remember, if you want to learn from beginner to advanced, I've got a Patreon art channel with literally hundreds and hundreds of videos. Hope you enjoy this short YouTube video. Right, let's start to get some of these tonal values correct. So we know this is going to be pretty much, may well be, the lightest part of the drawing. I don't want to lose my lines, okay? So if I think I'm losing it, I make sure that I'm putting them in, re-establishing before it gets lost, okay? I don't want to lose that edge. Let's find a dark brown. Here we go. I thought I pulled one out. Now, when you're drawing small scale like this, you need to make sure your shapes are accurate. Okay, but because being out by a millimetre or two can make a huge difference. Now when you've got an area that's very bright or white like this, you want to make sure you haven't got anything dark underneath. I don't want any blues or anything under here. I don't want any greys, because if I do, I'm not going to get this white back. I'm using circular strokes because I want to push that pastel into the paper surface. Now I could use a clean stump, or I could use a clean finger. Let's go with a clean finger for now. Right, I'd like to try and get some of that blue in. Now, when you're doing the colour, you're not sure if you've got it right yet, test it on some paper. That's too light, because you can be very surprised with too dark. At the early stages especially, it can be surprising perhaps how light or how dark you've got to go. Combination of those two. So down here is quite dark. It's purpley blue. It's one of my favourite Derwents. I don't like many Derwents really. I've got the full set, but this is one I use really often. I buy quite often. Prussian Blue P350. You'll find yours may be different than mine, but you'll find that you've got favourite colours with sets as you build them up. I built mine up over, say, 7 years since I've been doing pastels. See, that looks too light now. So you don't have to go buying loads of pastels straight off. It's just a case of the more you have, the easier it kind of is, because you've got more to select from. As I said, I built the setup over years. And if you go back on my Patreon channel, you'll see many of my first lessons, because they're kind of in date order. Most up to date is showing up first on there. I've just got like one set or so of pastels. Okay, so plenty can be done with one set. So down there goes more purple. See that purple coming in there. Let's see what I've got in my purple set. This is purple, but it's very dark. So you can then use it on the side. I'll put another colour on top then to lighten it. it's too rich then, so I'm trying to find colours. And you know what, sometimes you just got to be close enough. Some things are going to be good enough, not perfect. In fact, lots of things will be like that. But keep concentrating on tonal value. And it'll be okay. So I've got loads of colours on the go now, all these blues and use your scrap paper to test colours out. You might find some that look too rich or too yellow, like that. Miles too yellow. Let's get him out the way. I don't need anything like that for a while. The eye shape is there, this comes around, kind of goes up. Now I'm not an expert on horse anatomy. I've looked at lots and lots of things like leopards, so I know much more about their anatomy. That can help you if you find an area confusing. But if you don't know much about it, like I say, I don't know a great deal, don't do that many horses, really then study what you're seeing in the reference. We know the reference is correct. So as long as I get it pretty close, then my drawing will look correct as well. Now when I'm doing a drawing that's small, I'm not thinking about trying to get every one of these almost microscopic little hairs in there, because I can't do that with pastels. And even if I could sharpen my pencil up that much, do I really want to do it anyway? Because I can make it look pretty real by concentrating on the major shapes. Sometimes with art, it's about, and you've probably heard this before, but it's about what you're leaving out sometimes as much as what you're putting in. And really experienced artists can make something look extremely real, especially from a distance, and then when you get up close, it's what I would call very painterly. And by that I mean that you can see all the brush strokes or cross hatching, you know, things like that. Right, so a little bit of pinky purple around the nose, but not much. And then we've got some real dark in here. Right, it's quite light out here now. We've got a bit of highlight on top of it. Goes light here as well. And I can tidy all that up when I do the background properly also. Now down here the lip goes down, comes around, goes up. There you go. Needs to be darker down the bottom, like that. And then it's highlight there, comes across, it's darker again. In fact, I'll use a dark purple, I think, and that may not even be dark enough. Okay. Right, that looks pretty good for not a great deal of work so far. You see, all of this is going to be about getting the little details of the light changing. So over the eye, now I've got that brown eye shape there, so let's make sure I don't lose that because it's tiny, and the eyes need to be right shape, right tone. If we lose that, it's going to be extremely obvious to the viewer something is wrong, and they may not know what's wrong, but they'll know something is wrong. Eye needs to be darker than that, or larger than that. That's okay, because we need highlight underneath. See, I'm judging and assessing all the time, comparing one area against the other area. Okay, that's pretty good. It needs a lot of, well, not a lot, but it does need some finesse and refinement. But I think that's okay for now. that edge as well. It's going to need a bit of playing around with. But not too bad already. So up on the top by here, it's really quite blue. Comes down like that. I said I gotta refine the hair a bit more, because on that's all that blurriness that we see, and that's not real hair, that's more the caravans behind. Now that's too dark. If I pushed hard with this pencil, it'd be too dark, but the colour is not far off. So I'll put some of that down, I'll put some lighter on top, blend it together. Hope you've enjoyed this short video. As I mentioned earlier on, literally hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of lessons on my Patreon art channel, loads of different subjects from beginner to advanced. Hope to see you there real soon.